In this video, I'm going to share some signs that you could be a starseed. I'm also going to explain what starseeds are, how they work, and what the purpose of them is, really. I mean, why do they exist and what is their purpose here on Earth? So a starseed is a highly evolved soul who has incarnated, which is incarnated here on Earth for a specific purpose or mission. You could argue actually that we all have, and we do all have, a specific purpose or mission. However, starseeds are kind of like an injection into this Earth from a higher galaxy, a different planet system, to aid in humanity's ascension and Mother Gaia's ascension into the Golden Age. As I'm sure many of you will be aware, right now we are at a very important time in our history. We're at a time where humanity is ascending and we're going from being a 3D planet to a 4D and then eventually a 5D planet. Now, this means one or two things. It means that humanity needs help, and starseeds are a great way for other planet systems to help humanity ascend, because this is kind of like the pinnacle of this spiritual war that's going on right now, which most people are not aware of. And it's a war for our minds and our hearts and our consciousness. And ultimately it comes down to energy. So starseeds are highly evolved souls that can come into this reality and incarnate in a human body in order to carry out a purpose or a mission. Almost like the film Avatar, you know, where they go into that sort of chamber and then they're able to project their consciousness into a blue avatar, which is like a machine or a body that they use to carry out their mission. Well, in this case it's much the same, except it takes a bit longer. So when a starseed incarnates in a human body, the soul, as I said, highly evolved, projects itself into the human experience, incarnate as in be born, be birthed here on Earth for a specific mission. And don't worry, I'm going to get to the signs in just a second. Now what's happening is humans are starting to remember their existence, and they're starting to remember or feel like they don't really belong here on Earth. They're starting to feel like homesick, even though they've never been to the place they're homesick for. It's a weird feeling, and there are several signs which I'm going to explain in a minute that you could be a starseed. So starseeds come from four main places, or at least the starseeds on Earth come from four main places, and that is Sirius, Andromeda, Pleiades and Lyra. I hope I'm pronouncing those right, but they are the four main places that starseeds will incarnate from. They are the galaxies or star systems which the starseeds come from originally. Now, I'm not saying that the DNA comes from these places. I'm saying that the soul, which is like the consciousness or the energy that fills this avatar, comes from those places if you're a starseed. Now, in many ways, we are all starseeds, because literally the calcium in our bones, the iron flowing through our blood, okay, the nitrogen in our DNA, these are all star materials. This is basically stardust. So we are all, in a sense, starseeds. It's just kind of a weird term for me, really, because starseed implies that it's some kind of alien thing that has come here. Well, really, we're all alien, and we're all floating through space in different places and in different ways. And there's nothing really more alien about a starseed than us. It's just they come from a different place. In the same way that there's nothing really different about somebody who comes from Africa, India, Australia, America. We're all basically the same stuff, fundamentally, the same consciousness, the same human and non-human experience of life. We're all that embodiment of life. So in many ways we're all starseeds, but specifically when I say starseeds in this video, I'm talking about people or souls who have incarnated from those four main places on Earth here. So the main signs you'll experience are that you just feel a bit different. Something doesn't really feel quite right. You don't know what it is. You're probably going to be in perfect health. Okay, most starseeds are quite healthy. But you're going to be feeling like something is different or off in a way that you can't quite explain. You might also feel like you're homesick for a place you've never been to. And you might also start to feel like patterns or ideas or the way humans work, the way human society functions, is weird. It's maybe illogical to you. It doesn't make sense. At a fundamental gut level, it doesn't really make sense, and you don't understand why humanity and society functions the way it does. Now, this is not just going to apply to starseeds, okay? Most people are starting to wake up and realise that we're in a matrix right now, and that the control systems which are trying to influence and manipulate us are falling away. However, up until now, this has been very, very powerful, and they've basically held their power for a long time, certain bloodlines and certain control groups. We won't get into that in this video. However, as a starseed, you might just feel like you don't fully understand how humans work or why society functions the way it does. Now, starseeds, like I said, are human. Okay, their DNA, for the most part, not always, but for the most part, the DNA is human. However, the soul comes from one of those four places. I'm going to get into some more signs in a second. Another sign is that if you feel excited or in a good way, if you feel positive about the idea that you could come from somewhere else, that you could come from somewhere other than this Earth and this system that we've been born into and this society, that's a pretty good sign that you're a starseed. If you feel excited about the idea that you don't come from here, at a gut level, like if you feel that within you, that it's exciting that you came from somewhere way out there in a different galaxy, that's a pretty good sign that you are a starseed. Another sign is that you just don't feel like you fit in. Maybe this has happened throughout school. I mean, typically everyone feels like they don't fit in fully during school because you're sort of getting to know who you are as a person and you're developing and growing all over the place. But if you really felt throughout your whole childhood that you didn't really fit in, you didn't really relate to or understand people as easily as you would want to, that's another pretty good sign you're a starseed. Another powerful sign is that you just feel like there is much more to reality than you're experiencing right now. Now, as starseeds, especially if you come from places like Pleiades and Andromeda, you typically are going to be a 5D being or higher, meaning you're used to things like unconditional love, like telepathy, telekinesis, flying, time travel. You're used to those things. And so when you're brought to this reality and in this physical, dense body, you start to feel unusual. You start to feel like you should be able to do more than you can do in this. You feel limited by this body. You might feel like you want to fly over there. You might feel like you should be able to lift up a sofa with your mind. It will manifest in different ways, but me specifically being an Andromedan starseed, I typically feel like I should be able to do a lot more than I can with this body. This manifests itself all the time when I'm just feeling the urge to go and climb something that I know is dangerous. I'm feeling the urge to, wish I could fly around, and I feel all this energy and power within me, but my human physical body is sometimes limiting. And this is a really powerful sign that you're a starseed, because you remember at a very deep level that you are an infinite, powerful being from somewhere else, and you're just temporarily here in this sort of weak human avatar shell to do a mission. You might also be highly sensitive or intuitive. These are also signs that you're opening your third eye, and I did make another video about that as well on this channel, but you will start to feel more intuitive and sensitive to things like especially light. Light and sound are big ones because through the pineal gland, the third eye, you're able to be more sensitive to light because the third eye literally controls your circadian rhythm. Okay, you're in this body, we have many different systems which connect us to different planes of existence, right? The circadian rhythm connects us to, or grounds us in, the cycle of sleeping and waking. And so when your third eye starts to open, one of the signs, one of the symptoms of third eye awakening is that you will be more sensitive to light. However, that is also a sign that you could be a starseed. Now, I just want to take a very quick break here and just explain. You want to look for a cluster of these signs. You don't want to just pick one and say, oh, that's me, I'm a starseed. You want to make sure that you're ticking at least 3 to 5 or more of these signs off before you start going around saying, oh, I'm a starseed, I come from Pleiades, I come from Lyra. Okay, you want to make sure you're looking for a cluster or a pattern. Another big sign that you're a starseed is that communication just seems incredibly slow. You're used to being able to telepathically talk to people and immediately get your thoughts and ideas into the other person's consciousness without even thinking about it. You're just immediately going to download at literally the flick of a button, click of a fingers. You're used to, at the click of your fingers, being able to download and upload information from one consciousness to another. So you're used to being able to communicate at the speed of light or faster. So when you're then forced into this dense human body, you often think, why can't I communicate like I used to be able to? Why do I have to talk and form ideas and sentences and think about how to use this brain and this slow body to communicate? And a lot of things get lost in translation. However, that's backed up. The next starseed sign kind of makes up for that. You're highly empathic, meaning you can kind of intuit and understand things without having to see, hear, or feel them. You can kind of just feel and know them without really knowing how you know that thing. Being an empath is a really powerful way to communicate with people because to read someone and to read a situation, you don't have to talk to them often. You just kind of have a deep wisdom and you kind of feel immortal and timeless. Alright, another starseed sign. You have a very strong sense of mission and purpose. And this has happened for me, or at least before I started to know my purpose, I would have a very strong knowing that something big was going to happen in my life, that I was designed or created to do something big and important on this earth, on this planet. And that is a very common starseed sign, is that you know or feel there's an important mission to do, but you don't know what it is yet, or at least most people don't know what the mission is just yet. So it's more like a path than a specific mission. And being an empath, you can sort of be guided by your heart and your intuition. So you don't need to figure out what that specific mission is because it's often just a journey where you connect the dots all the way along and then you eventually find out what your mission is. So don't worry if you don't know your specific mission, but the starseed sign here is just that you feel like there is a mission. You feel like there is some purpose or some higher reason for you being here. The next one is that you feel a connection or you seem to manage to attract or understand animals, children, and random areas of nature. You also might not have many friends, and the friends you do have might not understand you as well as you would like them to. However, most starseeds tend to make themselves a couple of really strong, deep connections, which are usually with other starseeds and soul family members and things like that. You may also, if you're a starseed, feel kind of alienated or disconnected from your family in a few ways. Not in all ways, but you will kind of feel like you don't fit in or don't belong as much as you should do, or as much as you think you should do. Another starseed sign is that you'll kind of have like unique channeling or spiritual gifts and the ability to see and understand things that you don't know how you understand them. A quick tip, by the way, if you want to improve that and get more intuition and basically, how can I say, if you want to amplify all of these gifts and signs and ideas, I would highly recommend wearing this, which is an amethyst pendant. Amethyst is a very powerful crystal for opening the third eye and the brow chakra and the higher chakras and connecting you to your higher self through the soul. There's links to all of this in the description, by the way. You also know that you're a light being and you're more than your physical body. You have a really strong sense that this is not all there is. Okay, we are much more powerful than we are taught we are by society and by the people around us. So okay, you're a starseed, or at least you think you are. What's the point? Why are you a starseed? Well, it's hard to say specifically why you signed up, but for most people, 90% or more of starseeds signed up to become a starseed and come here to Earth to help humanity ascend into the golden age. For a long time there have been spiritual wars going on in the background that most people are unaware of, but this has really come to a point here on Earth in the last couple of 100 years, really. And it's been building up to this point now. We're at a critical tipping point where almost enough people have started to become aware and awakened to tip humanity's consciousness into a 5D world. Incredibly exciting, and one of the best things to witness in history. People all around the galaxy and all around the universe are looking at us now on Earth, and they're literally watching on the edge of their seats, okay? So part of your mission, or at least the main part of your mission, is just to awaken and remember who you are. Remember your power, your divinity, and your infinite potential and capacity to do good in this world. And just share that with everyone around you. Be that example. At the most fundamental level, just do that and be that every single day. Another thing to bear in mind is to raise your frequency or your vibrations. We are all made of frequency and vibration. Okay, this has been proven by science. We are at the quantum, it's known as either waveform reality or quantum metaphysics. We're all vibrating. Everything is vibrating. The things you think are solid, like the chair this camera is sitting on, the sofa behind me, these are all vibrating particles. So they are actually in a state of movement all the time. And we are the same. So knowing that, you can understand that in order to attract or manifest something, you have to be vibrating at the same frequency. So if you want to fulfill your mission and step into your power and your purpose and all of that stuff, you need to be vibrating at the same or the correct frequency, as high as you possibly can. You want to drop away the negative things, the gossip, the negative programming, the limiting beliefs, the fear. Drop all that away because you don't need it anymore. Drop away what doesn't serve you and just focus on higher vibrations. I have a really powerful ebook actually explaining exactly how to do that. The link is in the description. It's called the Raise Your Frequency Guide. It explains over 15 powerful biohacks and frequency raising exercises you can do. I would really encourage you to do those, even if you don't care about ascension, which I don't know why you're watching this video if you don't, but even if you don't care, these things will massively improve how you feel, how you think, how your brain functions, and how you sleep, as well as every other thing in between. So go and check that out and let me know in the comments what you think about starseeds. Do you think you are one? What signs and symptoms have you had of being a starseed? Let me know.